It's been a while. I apologize. I came home. My phone died. Had to get that fixed. I went to Homestead, which is why I didn't upload yesterday. I was at the race. It was very hot. Didn't realize it'd be that hot. You know, it's been 4 years since I've been to Homestead. And I remember the race is going into the nighttime. This one did not go into the nighttime. And it was hot. I'm kind of surprised I don't look worse. I feel like my face should be completely red. But that is what we're going to talk about today, since I couldn't do it yesterday since I was at the race. And I think I have some insight, you know, maybe my opinions that you care about from looking at this race. I will be back in Orlando tomorrow. I want to take this mic. This mic is very, very nice. I should probably take it with me to Orlando. But, you know, we'll be back on the normal schedule very soon. I wasn't able to upload the last few days just because I was busy with a bunch of stuff here at home. You know, every time you come home, you try to get some stuff done. But Homestead Miami's done, moved on. Now we go to Martinsville. And the race itself, you know, I always find it interesting when you go to a race because your perspective is so different. You know, I wasn't listening to the commentary of Rick Allen and Steve Letard and Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Jeff Burton. I didn't have a lot of information on, like, if someone had a thing here or there. Like, I don't use those headsets, so I don't know, like, well, really anything other than looking at the track and what's going on and under caution when you can hear the PA announcers. That's really all you can hear. In Homestead, you know, where I was sitting on the entry of turn 1. And, like, there's no, like, Homestead as a facility, guys, is pretty garbage nowadays, like, compared to other facilities. I go to Daytona a lot. You know, Daytona is Daytona. It's like a different little beast. It's amazing. But I went to Phoenix last year. I was able to get the opportunity to go to Phoenix. And, you know, when you compare the two, facility-wise, it's not close. Like, you have Wi-Fi at Phoenix. You can access your phone. You can scroll Twitter to see, like, what is Jeff Gluck and Bob Pockrass and all these guys telling you about the race, so you can get information that way. But at Homestead, there's no Wi-Fi, there's no signal, so you can't really, you know, get information that way. There's no, like, screens in the infield. There's, like, 2 screens in the infield. They're very small. Like, so you can't really, I didn't know what what lap it was via the stages, because Homestead only gives, like, the lap, like, it just says lap 19. It doesn't say, like, lap anything else, like 19 out of 200 or anything like that. Like, so I didn't know the lap counter. I didn't know how many laps were left in a stage. Like, it was just, you were just watching. So having that very a lot of lack of information basically allowed me to watch the race in, I feel like, a different way. And I'll tell you guys right now, the number one thing I noticed, I don't know if you guys noticed that, again, I wasn't able to do my normal things of go through Twitter, look at all the information, the opinions of a lot of people. I wasn't able to look at all that stuff. I don't have any of that stuff in my knowledge. I just noticed one thing, and it was, you know, specifically towards the end of stage 1, where Larson pulled out to, I mean, I didn't know the gaps, but there was a Xfinity advertisement off turn 2. And I would just, like, when Larson would go by, I would just go 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000. And Reddick must have been like 6 or 7 seconds behind in second place before William Byron it came in there as well. Adrian Allmendinger had a really good run. But I had this angle. I posted it on my Instagram, actually. I had this angle into turn 1 where you can see the entry so perfectly. Like, you can kind of, you know, it's a very, very wide entry into turn 1. And I wasn't watching the race. I was watching for about 10 laps how the cars, with around 15 to 10 to go in stage 1, how the cars would enter turn 1. And this is when Larson would have his very, very large lead. And I'd watch all of them. Back markers, middle, the guys in the mid-pack, the leaders, everybody. And I specifically, for like 3 to 4 laps, I watched Larson and I watched Reddick. Those are the 2 guys I watched, because they were running first and second. And I don't know if this comes off on TV. I'm pretty sure maybe it could come off on the onboard cameras, because I've seen an onboard Twitter of Larson running up by the wall. I kid you not, what he does is not car. It's not, you know, like Hendrick Motorsports is the greatest ever, whatever. It's Kyle Larson. because there's not a single other driver in the field on any other lap that can do what he does on every single lap. It's genuinely insane. You have to be there live in person and have that angle into a corner. Like if you're sitting off the exit of turn 4, you're not gonna see it. You had that perfect angle into turn 1, and you can see when Larson enters the corner, he's on the wall. That's the biggest thing I noticed. When he enters the corner, he's on it. Like you cannot see a gap between his car and the wall. Every other car, even Tyler Reddick, whether it be like, I don't know, like a few little bit of like 5 feet or something, very minimal distance between the wall and Reddick. But when Reddick would go through, you could see the space on the wall. And Homestead during the midday, the wall, cast this perfect little tiny shadow. So you can use the shadow as like a reference point as to how close a car is to the wall. And Reddick was just slightly off. Everyone else was a little bit farther off. Like Chase Elliott was entering the corner, and you could see some sunlight between his car and the shadow of the wall. Reddick, there was no sunlight, but you could see the little gap between the wall and Reddick's quarter panel. Larson would go into turn 1 every single time, and every single time you would like, even if you had binoculars on, you would not be able to see the gap between the wall and his car. And he's the only one in the entire field that could do that. And I didn't see any other driver, even on one lap, just one lap out of any other laps, any other driver be able to do that. To be able to enter the corner as high as he did. Like when I watched that lap after lap after lap, and again, I have no information of intervals, what's going on, like the lap counter, so I just literally just pinpointed my eyes onto the entry of turn 1, and I just came to the realization that Kyle Larson is just not from this planet. Like, he's not from this planet. It is genuinely insane what he was doing, and to see it in person, it is crazier. It's crazy. Like, TV could not do justice to the level of expert driving that Kyle Larson was performing at yesterday. I haven't seen the TV commentary, but let me know what you guys think. I'm telling you from my first-hand experience, go on my Instagram story. I have that video. Maybe I'll be able to find a way to put it in this video. Just this perfect angle into turn 1 to watch him just rim ride the wall like that is crazy. Like I remember, even on like iRacing days, like when you have to run by the wall, I was always someone that I can never enter the corner on the wall. I would always have to enter a little bit low and slide my car up to the wall. Now I could enter, a few yards off the wall. Like if you always had to be right by the wall, I would have to enter a little bit low, and I would get on the wall. I'd be pretty close to the wall. Like I'd be literally riding it in the middle of the corner. But on entry, no, I was too scared. 39 or like however many cars are in the field, they could not do it. Larson has no fear, but to do it lap after lap after lap after lap, it's a technique that I don't think you can learn. I honestly don't think you can learn it, because like mentally you tell yourself like, I have to enter by the wall, I have to, but you just can't. Like there's like a line that as a driver that you have to. You don't want to hit it. You don't want to ruin your day. So you get as close to it as you think you can. And Larson can get closer by a comfortable distance than anybody else can on the entry. And then he's able to just, with his technique and his driving talent, enter on the wall and just keep it right there for the whole corner, modulate the throttle and the brake. And it's just like, it was like, I've been talking about it, guys, for 9 minutes. I've been recording for 9 minutes. I haven't talked about the race like really in any way yet, because that's how amazed I am by what I saw yesterday. I was sitting there baking like an egg and just watching that car just wall ride turn 1 every single time. I didn't even care about turn 4. I was just watching him wall ride turn 1. And it just goes to remind you, even in a season where he has struggled, right? He has not won a lot of races. He's not in the playoffs anymore because of that issue at the Roval. It just reminds you, like, and I know, like, being able to run at Homestead is very similar to the dirt racing aspect, and it fits a certain style. So I don't want to come out and say Kyle Larson is the greatest NASCAR driver to ever live, because NASCAR is different styles of racing. You have super speedways, you have short tracks, you have intermediate racing, you have very similar stuff to dirt, but then you have to go and do road course racing. You have to do super speedway racing. Like, we all know Kyle Larson, super speedway wise, is not really the best. So, you know, it's a specific style of racing, but good lord. Like, good lord. I thought Christopher Bell would win the race, because I thought Christopher Bell was going to come into this race. The car would be great, and he has that dirt background. He can go toe-to-toe with Larson on dirt, and I just thought at Homestead he could do it. And when I saw Larson, I just realized no one else can do it. Like, if to beat Larson at that style of racing, you have to have a better car than him. When it comes down to straight driver talent, that no one comes close. Nobody comes close. It is unbelievable. So he dominates. He wins stage 1. He wins stage 2. Loses a little bit of track position because of a caution from Ryan Blaney, who accidentally downshifted coming off pit road. So he loses like a little bit of track position, but he's able to get it back. He's able to get back in the lead. He's able to win the race. And to me, the playoffs were not even the story of the race. Like, we'll look at the points, obviously. We'll go through the days of everyone. But that was not the story of the race. The story of the race was Kyle Larson and how ungodly great he is. Like, that's genuinely the story of the race. It's mind-blowing. And I know you guys, again, I know you guys probably think I'm crazy. Like, he just won. It was normal. But when you see it in person and you watch him drive that track, it's it's anything you see live gives you different perspectives. If you go and watch any sport in person, you see things that TV just cannot show you. Only your eyes can see it. And that's why going to these events are so important. And, you know, usually with NASCAR, it's not like that. Like, you could, mostly time with NASCAR, you can watch everything in person. It's very similar to TV. You get the same experience. But, nah. There's no way TV could replicate what Larson was doing compared to everyone else. It was amazing. So, he wins. Let's go talk about the points now. I have the points in front of me. I'll try to put it somewhere on the video as well. So, looking at it, again, this is the first time I've actually looked at it. So, looking at it, it doesn't look all that different from before. Ryan Blaney minus 18. Bell is still in must win. Chase Briscoe, I mean, I didn't really see him the whole race. Where did Briscoe finish? I just did not notice. He must have been running mid-pack the whole race. Briscoe finished in last. There was an accident. Was he one of the ones that wrecked in the backstretch? He must have been one of the ones that wrecked in the backstretch. Like, guys, when there's a caution down the backstretch, I don't even see anything. The TVs are so small, I can't even see who wrecked. So, yeah, I think he was probably the first caution. I'm guessing he was. I guess. No, the first caution was Nemechek. John Hunter Nemechek was the first caution on the backstretch. I know Reddick wrecked down the backstretch. How did Briscoe crash? What the hell? I don't even know. Oh my god, I'm awful. Like, I genuinely, a playoff driver is involved in an accident. I don't even know how it happened. Was I in the bathroom or something? I don't know. Okay, well, this race analysis is going great when I don't even know how one of the playoff drivers wrecked. But, you know, going through you know, he's in a must-win situation. If he wins at Martinsville, well, damn. That's going to be an upset for the ages. The best upset I've ever seen. Christopher Bell, also in a must-win situation. He was not as good as I thought he would be yesterday. He ends up finishing 11th. You know, he was my pick. But early on in the race, you just knew, you know, he wasn't going to be up there. So that's a little, I thought it was more of a, you know, I don't know. Well, his teammates did run well. So I don't know. That was a little bit of a surprise to me. Ross Chastain is plus 19. He had a very good run. Watching the end with him and AJ Allmendinger was a lot of fun. We'll talk about AJ Allmendinger in a second when we get to the race results. Chase Elliott, plus 11. He was one of the guys that got a little bit screwed by the caution. He was running like 4th, 5th most of the day. And then the caution came out. He got trapped to having to do the wave around, I think. And he just couldn't get track position back. So he ends up finishing at 14th. He did get some stage points, which helped him. And so, you know, he's not safe, but even at Martinsville, I still expect Chase Elliott to advance. But, you know, Chase Elliott, William Byron, Denny Hamlin, those three guys in a points battle is very intriguing because all three of them you can easily see running top 3, top 5 at Martinsville. Denny Hamlin's very strong in Martinsville. Obviously, Elliott and Byron are also strong at Martinsville as well. This Martinsville is going to be very different. Qualifying is going to be vitally, vitally important because track position is going to be vitally, vitally important since the next gen car just does not seem to run well at short tracks. Remember, the Jeff Gluck poll got like a 16%, I think it was, in terms of yes, it was a good race at Martinsville in the spring. Fall is going to be just as bad probably. It's going to be very, very hard to pass. So qualifying is going to be very, very important. Stage points and all that. Can Ryan Blaney win at Martinsville? Yeah. Can Christopher Bell win at Martinsville? Yes. Can Briscoe do it? Probably not. Bell and Blaney, it's not their strongest track, but they can do it. I don't think they will. I think it will be a points battle between Elliott, Byron, and Hamlin. I think Chastain will run well enough to not get sucked into that. So if Chastain runs if he gets no stage points in the first 2 stages, he can get sucked into it. But I think he will be okay. I think he'll run top 10, maybe top 5. One of these guys, in my opinion, will struggle. I just don't know who it will be. But I feel like if Elliott struggles, I think Byron might as well. I think it might be a Hendrick thing. I don't see Hamlin struggling at Martinsville. I don't see it. I know sometimes Hamlin, there have been races at Martinsville where the setup's just completely off and all that. But I don't see Denny Hamlin struggling at Martinsville. I'm very confident he will run really well, and he can win. So 7 drivers going into Martinsville can all have an opportunity to win and lock themselves into the final 4. If I was, Denny Hamlin, Byron, and Elliott, I would focus on points and really try to point my way in, not try to get anyone pissed off. Don't bump and run someone into where they might wreck you. Again, this is Martinsville. I think people are going to get very impatient at Martinsville too, because it's going to be very tough to pass. The dirty air is going to be bad with this car. And so they're going to take extra risks. They're going to drive it in very deep. They're going to try to move you out of the way. I think that's going to happen. And so you don't want to, in the first 300 laps of the race, do that to someone and piss them off, and maybe you get spun or wrecked. So I would try to points race, and then see where it ends up at the end. Track position is going to be very, very important. For Ryan Blaney on down, and there is a world in where Blaney can point his way in, but against, the likes of Elliott, Byron, Chastain, and Hamlin, I don't see that happening, so he's going to have to most likely win, and Logano gets to laugh and enjoy his day. 7 years ago at Martinsville, he did not enjoy his day as Matt Kenseth pile drove him into the turn 1 wall. Today, Joey Logano can listen to, I don't know, jazz music during the 500 laps, get a public sub, get a mac and cheese in the car, get a nice refreshing drink of Coca-Cola in the car. You can come down pit road, take a piss break if you wanted to. Doesn't matter what he does. It doesn't matter if it doesn't matter. If he doesn't think he can win, he could just go home. That's all playoff points don't matter. He's done. He gets to relax. He could go play Call of Duty on Friday. He don't gotta do anything. So Joe Logano can just hop on the simulator and run 1,000 laps at Phoenix. That's what he should be doing. That's what he should be doing. Who cares about Martinsville? Logano should go into Martinsville with 0 practice laps, 0 preparation, and 0 care in the world. He should be 3 hours before the Martinsville race in the simulator running practice laps at Phoenix. That's what he should be doing. His crew chief on the box during the Martinsville race should be studying the Phoenix race, studying the car, the data, everything like that. They should just send a bunch of backup pit crew members and send all the normal pit crew members to Phoenix and do preparation stops in Phoenix to prepare for the weather over there. All right? They should do everything they can to not show up at Martinsville. That is the benefit and the gain you get from not having to care with the winning you're in the round of 8. So I think I got my point across, Logano, just don't show up. Go have fun. Spend time with your family. Who cares? You don't gotta win. You already have a grandfather clock. Well, he does have a grandfather clock, right? I think he does. I'm pretty sure he does. It was the one where Martin Truex Jr. didn't wreck him. I'm pretty sure that's the one he won. Anyways, we move. In the race results, shout out to AJ Allmendinger, Austin Dillon, Brad Keselowski. 3rd, 4th, 5th. Very, very solid run. Martin Truex Jr. lost the race because of pit road. Yeah. I saw that one. That one was weird. Obviously, I didn't know what happened. You know, I just saw a car spin on pit road. I didn't know what happened. I did watch the clip in the car on the way home. And, yeah, I mean, it's like a freak incident. I don't really know what they had to say about it. Like, if Truex was pissed about it or what. But it just seemed weird. Like, I don't know. You just saw a car spin. I've never seen it before. So, the commentary on NBC would have probably helped there. That would have probably helped to shape my opinion. But yeah, it was a really weird situation. He just got hit. I mean, Larson couldn't have sped up. So, Truex slowed down. When I saw the clip, he did slow down in front of Larson. But, I mean, this stuff, like, you go down pit road all the time. So, it must have just been a freak incident. It was really unfortunate. He was able to drive his way back up to 6th. So that was impressive with like 25 laps to go, 20 laps to go, whatever it was. He was able to go all the way back up to 6th. Very impressive by him. That's going to be it. This is a very long race review. That's going to be it for me. Martinsville is up next and then Phoenix. 2 races left in the season. Let me know what you thought, guys, of the race down below. In person, it was a little bit boring at times, but I think that's just because the heat was getting to my head. It was very, very, very hot, and like not having any information. I just didn't know what was going on, so it was like a little bit boring to me at times. But it was Homestead, you know. It was a solid race. I feel like there's just not as much intensity in the playoffs this season. I don't know what it is though. Like I just don't. It doesn't feel as intense as it usually is. So I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I will see you guys tomorrow. Take care of yourselves. Enjoy the rest of your day. Subscribe if you're new. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram if you're not already. Take care of yourselves, and peace out.